Hi there, it's Ken with Roguedeckbuilder.com. Having a little bit of issues with the video recording. I was able to do one, and the next match didn't record. It gave me an error when I tried to render it, but it was a very good matchup. Sad that it didn't work, as it was against MonoGreen. And I'm just going to show you the replay here. This was game number 1, and game number 2, after I've talked about this, I'll talk how it went. So first of all, I believe that I am on the play here. So I mulliganed a 1-land hand and decided to keep a 2-land with Godless Shrine, Godless Shrine. Not knowing what I'm up against, I play the Godless Shrine first, and my opponent is on green, so he's going to chuck out an Experiment 1. So we got the Pharika's Curse. This card is nuts in the format right now. It hits almost every deck besides the other control matchups. What this deck is definitely pretty good against. I am worried about going to U White control and Esper control, as I don't know if they'll just counterspell every Gray Merchant. But if we stick like a Liliana, then we are in very good shape. Anyway, so the Experiment 1, number 2 comes out. We draw into an Orzhov Charm. Now I'm getting a little bit worried here because well, no, I actually do hit a land. I thought I didn't, and I scried away. Oh, I think I put it was a Underworld Connections. No, what did I put on top? I can't remember what I put on top. We'll see here because we get to see it. Because I put Ender Spell, Scribe, put a card on top of Library. Yeah, so I think it was a land actually. So then my opponent played a Forest here, and he's playing a Mistcutter Hydra just for 2, and I go down to a 17. So anyway, back on my turn, we decide to play Godless Shrine, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start getting some card advantage out of Liliana and grab the Swamp. So if he has another Mistcutter Hydra, the Liliana just dies here. But fortunately for me, it's just a Burning Tree and a Rubble Belt Raiders. And so Liliana is going to take some damage here. But it's all right because we're starting to stabilize here, and I've got the combo. This is what this deck tries to do: is it tries to ramp up to a Debt of the Deathless and Deathless. And I'm actually thinking about playing more of these, as you get to see the power of this in this deck. So I decided to get another land and throw out a Gray Merchant of Asphodel to help stabilize a little bit. So he's down to a 16. I definitely could have gone a Crypt Gas there if I wanted to, but I wanted to get as much out of the Gray Merchant as I could. And here I get to kill off a Hydra, and maybe I should have killed off the double green, as it was good for the devotion for the Nylea. The Nylea is active here. We can now cast a Cryptghast, and we do have a blocker for the Burning Tree. So the Mystic comes out here. He swings in with everything, and I decide to block here, and then that way it'll make him spend his mana and give me information here for... And I had to block there anyway, or I would have died. So I didn't want to block one of these. They have trample anyway, so this guy didn't have so I could have saved 2 life there. But I just do some quick math here. I'm way good. So we have 5 swamps, so that's 10 mana, and out of the swamps, and so it'll be available mana will be 13 mana. So that will give us 9 left over, so I could actually Debt of the Deathless for 18 here, and that's what I end up doing. So we take a win out of nowhere. He thinks he's got this game, definitely thinks he has it, and we got the Debt of the Deathless, and goes down to a -2. So game 2 is kind of the same thing. I think I killed him off with a Merciless Eviction. That's what he was. So he went crazy like this again, and I was able to get a Merciless Eviction, wipe his board, and then from then on out, I was just able to play like a Gray Merchant, play another Gray Merchant, and whatnot. So liking this deck so far, we're gonna go ahead and check it out again. I don't know how much I like the Nightvale Specters here. They have been giving me problems against a mono blue deck that I played earlier, who was actually able to get a Nightvale Spectre off his Nightvale Spectre, and it was just the worst of luck ever. But another thing is, I can't cast much in the format. There is some black decks running around. There's some white decks running around. RG is probably the biggest. Red and green variants are probably the biggest in that mono blue. So I'm not sure how I like this Nightvale Spectre in here. The triple devotion is really good. Erebos has been kind of weird in this deck. He's a 5/7 though. If I've got him hooked up with like a Liliana and Underworld Connections, I've got at least a 5/7 blocker. But he kind of feels awkward in this deck. Probably gonna end up taking him out, as his devotion isn't that great. I'd like to find another double black devotion to help out the Nike those shrines, and the Gray Merchant of Asphodels that will help pump up to the Death of the Debt list, or just put in another Death of the Debt list. Other than I'm not liking too many of them. So I'm open to your suggestions. I'd like to know what you would put in this. We'll play a few more games here. This is Kevin with RogueDeckbuilder.com. Thanks for watching.